Chapter 772 The evil spirit race expert led Yi Tianyun underground. At first Yi Tianyun was slightly confused as he didn't know that there was any underground tunnel as they were already deep into the abyss to begin with. But now Yi Tianyun realized that it was a good hideout for a base as it would be hard for those with low cultivation to go down there. This place is well hidden. I can feel the effect of heaven creating divine king's law getting weaker as we go further down. Yi Tianyun said to himself. He now realized that going underground was the evil spirit race's way to elude heaven creating divine king's law. Nonetheless, it was hard for him to uncover the evil spirit race's base by himself. I heard that you have a treasure that can elude the law of heaven creating divine king, so what kind of treasure is it? Yi Tianyun asked the evil spirit race expert. It is a treasure that has been left behind by the ancestors, and it was called heaven-swallowing divine treasure which belongs to middle-grade divine tool rank. It can overrule many limitation once activated. The evil spirit race expert said honestly. I see, Yi Tianyun said with a frown. He now had additional information regarding how the evil spirit race managed to stay here in mortal world. Their treasure was the reason why heaven creating divine king didn't know that the evil spirit race still existed. So, that treasure is the reason you managed to survive in the mortal world, is it not? Yi Tianyun asked. Yes, you are right. Heaven creating divine king and the other divine kings teamed up to search for our trace, but this treasure allowed us to stay under their radar. Even so, we got scared and decided to hide underground for hundreds of years. The evil spirit race expert said indifferently. Yi Tianyun nodded as he understood what happened to the evil spirit race now. It couldn't be helped that they were too scared to leave their hideout as they didn't know what the divine kings were up to. With that treasure, you should be able to get some expert out in the open, shouldn't it? Yi Tianyun asked. It is a possibility at that time, but we were too scared that the divine king might sniff us out as soon as we got out, so no one wanted to do it. Evil spirit race expert answered. This divine tool can withstand divine king's attack. This is really something else. Yi Tianyun said to himself as he observed the heaven-swallowing divine treasure's description in detail. He began to wonder if a middle-grade divine tool could withstand a divine king's attack. How about a high-grade divine tool? Wouldn't it be something that was amazingly powerful that could destroy the divine kings altogether? But as Yi Tianyun examined the detail of heaven-swallowing divine treasure, he realized that it didn't suggest that the divine tool would be able to withstand a relentless attack from a divine king. It was foolish to think a divine tool that Saint King Stage Cultivator could use would easily resist a divine king's attack. But Yi Tianyun himself didn't think that he needed to destroy this barrier now. He has the evil spirit race expert leading the way, so he was confident that he would be able to enter the base without any resistance. Your treasure is truly convenient, but I'll have you lead the way towards your race's extermination. So let's go, Yi Tianyun said as he patted the evil spirit race shoulder encouragingly. The evil spirit race expert was visibly shaken, but he couldn't go against Yi Tianyun's word and led the way frustratedly without even able to shout for help. Chapter 773 The evil spirit race expert led Yi Tianyun inside with Water Dragon Emperor in tow. Yi Tianyun camouflaged Water Dragon Emperor as it went without saying that no evil spirit race expert should bring any outsider down here. Meanwhile, Yi Tianyun hid using his ability so that no one could detect him. Why are you back so soon? Have you fully seized control of Heaven Ascending Divine? A voice was heard on the side. Yes, it's almost complete. We just have to bring some more tributes. Evil spirit race expert said respectfully. More tribute. Haven't we sent some tribute earlier? The voice asked again as he opened a hole in the barrier for evil spirit race expert to enter. Yi Tianyun immediately took advantage of the moment and passed the figure while leaving the evil spirit race expert and Water Dragon Emperor behind. Yi Tianyun immediately saw that there was a building that was covered by heavenly yin fire. The fire was pulled inside the building slowly. But Yi Tianyun frowned a little bit as he just remembered that he should have dragged Water Dragon Emperor along so that he could fight and die. A human. Yu Chong, what is going on? Why did you bring 2 humans with you here? A voice was suddenly heard from nearby. It was a different story if the human was tied up, but since Yi Tianyun and Water Dragon Emperor weren't tied up, they immediately sensed something was wrong. But Yi Tianyun was too lazy to pay any attention to any of them as he was already inside heaven swallowing divine treasure. Once he was already inside like this, the evil spirit race had nothing to stop him from doing anything he wanted. Yi Tianyun was filled with anger as he knew that the evil spirit race had sacrificed so many children, teenagers, and even pregnant women for the purpose of their cultivation and ideas to control the whole realm. It was so obvious that Yi Tianyun even saw several of these children's bones on the ground at the corner of the building. Yi Tianyun saw everything with his appraisal eye and saw that one of the three leaders of evil spirit race was enjoying a child's flesh in his hands while the two other were bathing in a pool of blood. Yi Tianyun realized that it was probably children's blood too, but just how many children did they kill to leave that much blood? What is that power? They said to each other as they felt an extraordinary amount of power from Yi Tianyun. They thought that the human boy was just another powerless cultivator, but it was clear that they have made a mistake. Now, they sensed a power that was clearly well beyond any of them. Yi Tianyun transformed into an evil god with the power of evil god's suit, and his appearance wasn't that different compared to the evil spirit race, but it was clear that the evil god was much more terrifying than the evil spirit race. Yi Tianyun was beyond angry at this point as he could see the remains of children no matter where he looked. Yi Tianyun immediately rushed towards the leader of evil spirit race with the desolate set and the phoenix bloodline that increased his speed dramatically. The next moment, Yi Tianyun appeared in front of the evil spirit race that was eating a child. He was disgusted by this man the most as he nonchalantly ate a child's flesh in front of him. He immediately slashed the man down using the evil god power and cut the man's arms and legs. The black flame of the evil god immediately consumed the man's body from the wound. One down, two more to go. Yi Tianyun said coldly. Chapter 774 Yi Tianyun burned the evil spirit race leader's body so that the man couldn't regenerate easily. Yi Tianyun didn't want any of the limbs that he had already cut to regenerate so easily as the evil spirit race had 6 arms instead of 2. Although the amount of arm was a symbol of strength on evil spirit race, it was burdensome garbage for Yi Tianyun. The heavenly netherworld holy king that he fought before has also reached the Saint King peak stage, so these mortal world evil spirit race leaders didn't deter him at all. Yi Tianyun wasn't easily deterred this day as he had already reached the 5th layer Saint King stage, and his equipment boosted his strength that he was even more powerful than a divine king early stage. That was why he thought that these evil spirit race leaders were nothing but scums. Kill him, the leader shouted. The two of them immediately rushed towards Yi Tianyun with heaven swallowing divine treasure under their control. They didn't seem to panic at all even after seeing Yi Tianyun's speed as they were confident in their own power. Saint King Peak stage aura immediately filled the air as they went and attacked Yi Tianyun. But at that moment, Yi Tianyun suddenly disappeared, and the reflection of a black sword flashed in front of the rushing leaders, and they felt an extreme cold slip through them. They immediately felt a sudden pain from their limbs, and sure enough, their arms and legs were cut cleanly before the immortal fire engulfed their body. The immortal fire wasn't that intense as it would take several days for them to be completely burned to death, but the fire was hard to extinguish, and it also cancelled out their recovery. You are pretty good, but in the end, you will be drained dry by heaven swallowing divine treasure. You are already good as dead. I never thought mortal world would have someone as strong as you. Are you sealing heaven divine king's descendant? This power is similar to him. One of the leaders shouted as he was laughing while being burned slowly. Heavenly swallowing divine treasure would absorb Yi Tianyun's life force and blood essence, which was why they were so confident that Yi Tianyun would die soon. Furthermore, they were confident with heaven swallowing divine treasure's barrier as they thought that no one except for a divine king stage expert or above would be able to escape it. Water Dragon Emperor and evil spirit race expert that was still under Yi Tianyun's control frowned. They wondered whether they'd be freed from his control if Yi Tianyun died. They, 2, thought that it was impossible for Yi Tianyun to escape heaven-swallowing divine treasure's barrier. Since they retained all memory while being controlled by Yi Tianyun, they felt terrible as they knew that they had done something terrible to their allies. What are you thinking about? Yi Tianyun said as he suddenly appeared behind both of them. They immediately turned pale as they were surprised that Yi Tianyun was already behind them without them realizing it. But more importantly, wasn't Yi Tianyun fighting the leaders inside heaven swallowing divine treasure? So, why was he out there with them? But in reality, the one that was fighting against the leaders at the moment was Yi Tianyun's clone. He immediately made a quick decision to send out his clone inside as he didn't know whether he would be able to teleport out or not as soon as he saw the evil spirit race expert controlled heaven swallowing divine treasure to let the evil spirit race expert in earlier. Now, the three leaders of the evil spirit race frowned as they felt contempt and deep hatred for the young human in front of them. Not only were they defeated, but their prized treasure has been taken too. Kill us. Then. What are you waiting for? One of the leaders shouted without any form of fear in his eyes. Yi Tianyun took a look at the other leader that was impaled on the ground and saw the same thing. None of these evil spirit race leaders was afraid of death. Why would I kill any of you? I'd be doing you a favor if I kill you here now. I will watch you burn to death, a little bit at a time so that everyone that you had killed in the past can rest easy knowing that you all die an excruciating death. Yi Tianyun said coldly. His anger towards these people hasn't subsided as he kept seeing the remains of those that have been killed by these evil spirit race people in the past. This place bore witness to every sadistic act that the evil spirit race people have done to so many people to gain power. None of them could talk now to judge these evil spirit race leaders, so it fell to Yi Tianyun to be the one that made sure none of these people died an easy death. He vowed to himself that he would exterminate all evil spirit race thoroughly from all three realms. Maybe there were other races that were as inhumane as evil spirit race too, but it didn't matter as he would destroy anything that was disappointing, unpleasant, and revolting to him. He would be the judge of all these disgusting behaviors. He would become the nightmare of these evildoers. Chapter 775 The evil spirit race leader kept mocking Yi Tianyun and his conviction to provoke Yi Tianyun into killing them. They knew that their chance to live was already down the drain, and the next best thing was getting rid of this painful torture and die immediately. You just want me to kill you faster, don't you? But don't worry, watching you all burn slowly brings joy to me. I will be here all the time to watch you burn no matter how many days it might take. Yi Tianyun said menacingly. But wait, I have a new idea that might torture you for much longer. You know the weak are prey for the strong, right? But only heartless ones like you would agree with such an argument, so to make things interesting, why don't I heal you a bit? Yi Tianyun said as he pulled out the longevity ring from his storage. This ring would discharge a strong recovery wave that would heal anyone he wanted, but he adjusted the healing rate so that it couldn't exceed the damage caused by immortal fire. Sure enough, the evil spirit race leader's limb began to heal as their recovery speed was enhanced by the longevity ring's power. But at the same time, Yi Tianyun intensified the immortal fire that had burned them more intensely and painfully. What are you doing? Why are you healing us? You are worse than a monster, the leaders shouted at Yi Tianyun coldly. Our race will kill you mercilessly. You will be swallowed like a cattle, another screamed in torturous pain. In fact, they all were screaming bloody murder from the excruciating pain they felt from the immortal fire. This was Yi Tianyun's way of calming down his anger as he was really angry and disgusted by what these people had been doing for so many years. The evil spirit race expert and water dragon emperor were watching Yi Tianyun torture the evil spirit race leaders, and horror couldn't be concealed from their faces as they saw that demons were basically cute compared to Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun then turned his back on the leaders and went further into the building to search for any living being beside the evil spirit race inside. He knew that they should have kept so many sacrifices so their life would be easier and comfortable inside this heaven-swallowing divine treasure. Sure enough, Yi Tianyun saw a dozen girls tied up to the wall. Their condition was bad enough, but they still smiled when they saw Yi Tianyun. Their eyes were full of relief and joy as they realized that Yi Tianyun was there to free and rescue them from this demon pit. Yi Tianyun took out his longevity necklace and used its power to heal their wounds from within their body. At that moment, Yi Tianyun realized that these women were pregnant with the evil spirit race's offspring in their bellies. So, without even hesitating, Yi Tianyun used his immortal fire to destroy those offspring without harming the girls' bodies. If any other cultivators saw what Yi Tianyun was doing to the girl, they would say it was a waste. Such a great recovery power was wasted on useless people with no power. That was because these girls' cultivation was destroyed, shattering their chance to become a strong cultivator in the future. Nonetheless, Yi Tianyun still did it as it would make him feel better. He knew that none of what happened here was these girls' fault, and it was not fair to let them suffer any further. As Yi Tianyun healed them, their tongue that was severed by the evil spirit race began to grow back, and their cultivation began to recover little by little. Their cultivation took time to recover, but their physique was fully healed in a matter of minutes. "Thank you very much, my lord. You don't need to save us, but you did it still," one girl said gratefully. They have been thinking of ending their lives as their situation was hopeless, and they felt depressed as they didn't think anyone would save them from these demons. "We were already thinking of dying here as we never expected to be rescued like this. We have been thinking of taking revenge if we are rescued, but we don't think that is possible," another girl said with a sad look on her face. "Well, if you want to die, I won't stop you from doing so, but if you want to exact your revenge towards these people, I can help you with that," Yi Tianyun said solemnly. "Thank you, my lord. You have done so much for us even though you didn't know us." "We will do anything you ask for," the girl said confidently. They couldn't torture the evil spirit race leader more than they were at this point. They could stab them until they were satisfied, but it wouldn't do much more towards those leaders. Before they were brought here, their innate ability was considered that of a genius. The evil spirit race leaders used them for breeding the next generation of evil spirit race to ensure that the next generation of evil spirit race had a genius-level innate ability. You know that there is still a lot of evil spirit race in the three realms. We will have to capture them and finish them off to the root to maintain the peace in the three realms," Yi Tianyun said solemnly. "If you really want to take revenge, then rise up. I will give you enough resources and training that you will be back to become a cultivation expert in no time," Yi Tianyun said charmingly. This was the only option that Yi Tianyun knew to help these poor girls' vendetta. He didn't know whether they would gladly accept his offer or not, as it would be a thorny path ahead of them if they accepted his offer. But, the next moment, one girl stood up with a little despair in her eyes. But she was filled with killing intent to the brim. Yi Tianyun nodded as he knew that the girl that stood up just now accepted his offer. Chapter 776. Yi Tianyun's words gave them determination and new goals in mind. Their loyalty towards Yi Tianyun went up immediately. Ding! Jia Yuling has become your loyal divine general. Rewards: 500.000 EXP, 50.000 CPs. Ding! Yu Tianling has become your loyal divine general. Rewards: 1.000.000 EXP, 100.000 CPs. Ding! Wei Tianqing, 12 of the girls have become Yi Tianyun's divine general, which was a good news. He only wanted them to focus on their revenge and then go on with their life without any attachment to Yi Tianyun ever again, but that wasn't the case now. Ding! Successfully gained 10 divine generals. Rewards: 1 billion EXP, 1 million CPs, 500.000 mastery points, divine general summoning command. Ding! Successfully gained 15 divine generals. Rewards: 5 billion EXP, 5 million CPs, 2 million mastery points, divine general summoning command, invincible divine general. Invincible divine general would increase all divine general combat power, defense power, and speed 10 times the normal value. A bunch of rewards popped out at once, which surprised Yi Tianyun. He got himself 12 divine generals, and all of them were young women. These ladies were definitely loyal towards him without question and willing to do anything for him. Under normal circumstances, gaining a divine general was a hard task, but that didn't seem to be the case for Yi Tianyan. We are willing to do anything for you, master. Even if you tell us to die, one girl said as she bowed down towards Yi Tianyan. I hope master would excuse our unsightly appearance right now. Another girl said with her head bowed down towards Yi Tianyan too. Do you think that you are tainted right now? Did you think that it would be hard to get close to other people? Yi Tianyan asked as he interrupted the young woman's train of thoughts. Yes, we feel that we are filthy right now. We have been defiled by a disgusting race, but master has given us a new goal that we have to achieve in this life. The girl said respectfully. Hadn't it been for Yi Tianyan, they would have already committed suicide earlier. That is nonsense. You are still pure inside. You guys are definitely not disgusting women. It is undeniable that you have been defiled by a group of beasts, but it only affects your body. When your cultivation has reached a certain threshold, you can even create a new body for yourself. Yi Tianyan said solemnly. Everything that they had done towards your body was inevitable, but your heart is still pure from their influences, and that is the most important thing that you still hold tightly today. You should be proud of yourself as you have survived even after the horror that befalls you and lived to tell the tale. Yi Tianyan said encouragingly. It was the most honest word that Yi Tianyan said towards these girls as he knew that they were just innocent victims. Moreover, if these girls reached Saint King stage cultivation, they could indeed recreate their bodies so that they could have a brand new one. But clearly, the pain in their heart wouldn't be easily forgotten. After hearing Yi Tianyan's words, the girls immediately cried their hearts out as they really disliked their current bodies. They were afraid that Yi Tianyan would be so disgusted with them that he refused to touch them. They haven't planned to find a Tao companion for now as their goal was to eradicate all the evil spirit race on the three realms. It was just that they were afraid of Yi Tianyan's rejection. They were afraid that he would dislike them or even hate them later. Now that Yi Tianyan's words were heard and he sort of promised them that he wouldn't look at them differently, it finally sank in that they have been rescued and cried joyfully. Yi Tianyan then shook his head and sighed upon the sight in front of him. These women were all victims. They were caught and tainted by the hands of the greedy race that was trying to conquer the mortal world. Now, I will give you a mission. Collect all valuable treasures inside this place and gather them here. Yi Tianyan said casually. The girls were under longevity necklace's effect, so they were constantly recovering. Although their cultivation was still hard to recover, it was no problem for them to walk around for a little while. Of course, master, the girls said at the same time and wiped their tears from their faces. Their eyes were full of hope as they were really expecting what future would Yi Tianyan bring to them later. They immediately dispersed to look for any treasure that could be hidden anywhere inside that place, while Yi Tianyan turned his attention towards the Water Dragon Emperor and evil spirit race expert that was under his control earlier. It seems I don't have to pit you against the people here. Yi Tianyan said coldly. He waved his hands, and the two were immediately sent flying and immediately swallowed by the immortal fire that was burning the evil spirit race leaders. The flame began to spread to their body, and eventually, they shared the same fate as the evil spirit race leaders. Yi Tianyan sighed once again as he was embarrassed that he had to do this, but the damage that these people have caused in the past and the possibility of what they would do in the future if they weren't stopped really disgusted Yi Tianyan. You won't be able to get rid of us. There is no way evil spirit race would be destroyed by the likes of you, the evil spirit race expert said coldly. Yes, curse you and all your descendants. We will haunt you for eternity. Water Dragon Emperor shouted furiously. They still tried to attack Yi Tianyan verbally, but it all fell on deaf ears. Do you have anything new to say? I will wait here for you to finish. Don't worry. You got time until you burn to cinders. Yi Tianyan said sarcastically. He has already received so much information about the evil spirit race today, and he had made up his mind to eradicate the evil spirit race from the three realms. Yi Tianyan intensified the immortal fire, inflicting even more pain to them, but for Yi Tianyan, this was only the beginning. Chapter 777. Tianyun was waiting for the girls to return while watching the evil spirit races and water dragon emperor he burned. Soon enough, the girls returned with some sacred tools, medicinal pill, and some martial art. Master, we found a lot of things. The girls said without even taking anything for themselves. They all gathered these treasures solely for Tianyun. They were truly loyal for Tianyun's sake. Had it been some other cultivators, there won't be this much treasure in front of Tianyun right now. Tianyun then observed the girls with his appraisal eye and saw that they really didn't take anything for themselves. Tianyun nodded as he realized that he had to trust these girls more as they were his divine general in the future. Take all these treasures for yourself as your capital resources. Choose whatever you think may suit you. Tianyun said solemnly. All the girls were shocked to hear Tianyun's word, as all of it were prized treasures that anyone would covet once they saw them. The weapons were all sacred tool rank, and the medicinal pills were all 4th grade pill or higher. Before their cultivation was destroyed, they were at spirit core stage at most, so it couldn't be helped if those resources seemed too much for them. Master, we can't accept this. It's wasted on the likes of us. The girls said with a frown on their faces. You deserve this, and it's not that precious at all. I will teach each of you a martial arts that suit you later, and I hope that you would cultivate it diligently. Tianyun said solemnly. If I find out that you slack off or give up, I will send you home right away. Tianyun said with a solemn expression. We will work hard for you, Master. We will never cut corners or anything like that. The girls said in unison. Good, then I will start teaching you the martial art you need after. Tianyun said solemnly. The girls nodded and immediately chose the weapon that suited them. Some took a sword, while the others took a knife, spear, or an axe. They had their own preferences, and Tianyun was satisfied. Then Tianyun spread out the martial arts that he had never used before and had them choose one that suited them too. Then Tianyun immediately supplemented them with medicinal pills that increased their cultivation level dramatically to make things easier for them. The girls immediately returned to their peak cultivation. In fact, some even break through their latest cultivation level. Tianyun believed that it wouldn't take long for the girls to cultivate as the first stage of becoming his divine general, as he saw the determined look in their eyes. They would become a team of elites, and Tianyun would give them a task to hunt down evil spirit race later. But the situation currently felt awkward as several people were screaming as they burned in agony, while the others were calm as they cultivated their cultivation with the help of medicinal pills. But even though Tianyun has massacred the evil spirit race in this cave, he knew that he was nowhere near eradicating evil spirit race. However, he knew that the remaining evil spirit race in mortal world wouldn't be nearly as strong anymore, as he already killed their leader. They stayed on the evil spirit cave for half a month, and the girls' cultivation already increased as high as spirit core peak stage with the help of so many medicinal pills. In short, the 12 girls' cultivation has recovered completely in less than a month. At the same time, the evil spirit race and the water dragon emperor have been burnt the whole time, but they were still alive as Tianyun made sure that they were healed each and every day. That was Tianyun's promise, as he didn't want these people to die so easily. Now, you can protect yourself. Later I would make you all a necklace that would glow in red light whenever you're close to evil spirit race. If you encounter such a situation, I expect you know what to do on your own. Tianyun said solemnly towards the girls. He thought that he had to level up his appraisal eye before he could detect the evil spirit race's existence. However, after some research, he found out that a treasure refined by using evil spirit race's blood would glow red as soon as it was close to the evil spirit race. This finding reduced his workload, as he could give any kind of equipment this ability to detect the evil spirit race. Once he returned, he could arm everyone in his empire with it to create a network so that the evil spirit race wouldn't have any place to run. Thank you very much, Master, the girls said as they would receive a necklace from Tianyun. They were excited since this necklace was something that Tianyun had personally made for them. But that wasn't all. Part of it was because they wanted to hunt this evil spirit race and destroy them with their own hands. With the necklace that Yi Tianyun promised, they would be able to distinguish the evil spirit race, leaving them nowhere to hide. Yi Tianyun himself only knew the true appearance of the evil spirit race even after all this time. However, not once was he able to notice the evil spirit race before they reverted to their true appearance. Great. Now, the last task that I would give you today is to kill these people. Yi Tianyun said as he pointed his finger towards the evil spirit race leaders and Water Dragon Emperor. I don't want to kill them myself. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. Right away, Master, the girls said as they rushed towards those two and chopped down the evil spirit race with their new sacred tools. They had no mercy towards these people as they chopped them down, peeled their skin, and even disemboweled them without mercy. I will give your group an official name. 12 golden hairpin sounds promising. Yi Tianyun said in the side. 12 golden hairpin was the symbol of beauty. They were indeed beautiful, but their heart was full of revenge. It was like seeing a beautiful thorny rose that would prick those who weren't careful. 12 golden hairpin, a strong team that would hunt down the evil spirit race. He could imagine that most of the evil spirit race would be terrified of that name in the future. Chapter 778 The 12 girls immediately killed all 5 of them without mercy. Despite their young age, they demonstrated how much they hated the evil spirit race and all of their allies. They weren't even an adult yet, as some of these girls were still 15-year-old. The girls butchered these people without hesitating at all. They weren't afraid of getting blood on their hands. After carrying out the deeds, the girls let go of their weapons and hugged each other while crying. Yi Tianyun sighed as he realized that all of them was still a girl, no matter how merciless they seemed earlier. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully break through to 6th layer Saint King stage. Yi Tianyun leveled up again. He was in the upper half of the Saint King stage now, but this time, he didn't have to use any of the EXP card that he got earlier. 12 golden hairpins soon recollected their thoughts and walked over towards Yi Tianyun and stood in front of him with gratitude on their face. Thank you very much, young master. The girls said in unison. There was nothing else they could say aside from expressing their gratitude towards Yi Tianyun. Now, from today onwards, you shall be called 12 golden hairpin as you represent both beauty and danger. Your goal would be removing the evil spirit race from mortal world. Did you understand everything I just said? Yi Tianyun asked solemnly. We understand, young master, the girls said in excitement. They really liked the name Yi Tianyun gave to their group. Good, now you may return to your own home or go to Heavenly Cloud's Empire. With that in line, I almost forgot to introduce myself. I am Yi Tianyun, the great emperor of Heavenly Cloud's Empire. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. The 12 girls were shocked to hear Yi Tianyun's true identity. They never expected that their savior would be the great emperor of the newly rising empire that was constantly being the talk of the town everywhere they went. But, they already promised themselves that they would serve him no matter who he was, so the true identity of Yi Tianyun only added more sugar to their already sweet future. They thought that the Emperor of Heavenly Cloud's Empire would be some gross old man, but it turned out the Emperor was still young. They already heard about the young Emperor before, but now they truly believed it as Yi Tianyun stood before them. I will go home first and immediately go to Heavenly Cloud's Empire after. One girl said shyly. I plan to do the same. I will come to Heavenly Cloud's Empire as soon as I can, another said with a smile on her face. I don't have any family, so I think I will head to Heavenly Cloud's Empire right away, another said with a sad expression on her face. Everyone shared their plans with each other, and Yi Tianyun realized that half of them had no family and planned to head to Heavenly Cloud's Empire after they left this place. Well, I will take all of you out of here first. Yi Tianyun said as he ordered them to hold each other before taking them out of evil spirit race's hideout. He has already done everything he needed to do down there, including absorbing the heavenly yin fire that burned coldly down there. He also destroyed the entire building there before teleporting away to completely erase any trace of evil spirit race down there. With that out of the way, the evil spirit race's foothold on mortal world has weakened significantly. There was no doubt in his mind that the remaining evil spirit race in the mortal world would be just some weakling as their leader has been killed. After all, evil spirit race's legacy on mortal world wasn't as much as their legacy in heaven world and ghost world. Mortal world was considered too strict due to the law created by heaven creating divine king, so the evil spirit race here wasn't as developed as they were in the other worlds. Soon enough, Tianyun and the girls arrived at where he saw heaven ascending divine altar was before, but as he looked around, he noticed that the heaven ascending divine altar was no longer there. It was obvious that Lan Qingling has made progress on dragging the heaven ascending divine altar towards its rightful place. After all, Tianyun has spent more than half a month inside evil spirit race's hideout. Tianyun then divided the 12 golden hairpins into 2 groups as he would take those that wanted to go directly to Heavenly Cloud's empire with him, while those that wanted to go home first would have to go separate ways. Tianyun wasn't worried about whether they would really come back or not as they were already marked by the crazy leveling system as his divine general with the highest loyalty. He immediately walked towards the Devil Cloud's island, and soon enough, he could see the huge whales that were trying to drag the heaven ascending divine altar up ahead. The whales weren't that slow, but it wasn't fast either. It was basically not too different from the speed of a normal human running on the ground. But even so, Tianyun understood why it was that slow. Then again, it has only been half a month, but after seeing the whale's speed, Tianyun realized that it would take months before heavenly ascending divine altar arrived at its rightful place. When Tianyun swam towards heaven ascending divine altar, the guards became vigilant. But, after seeing that it was their young master, they instantly calmed down and saluted Tianyun. Tianyun nodded his head and walked inside the heaven ascending divine altar to see Lan Qingling. Sure enough, she was in the front of the altar, giving orders to the guards and the whales. She looked back and finally noticed Tianyun had come back. Young master, you are finally back. Lan Qingling shouted as she was excited to see Tianyun. Well, I clearly see that you're doing pretty well. I will accompany you next time after I return from my trip to Heavenly Cloud's empire. Tianyun said with a smile on his face. He had a lot of time before heaven ascending divine altar arrived at its rightful place, meaning he could fix some of the divine runes inside heaven ascending divine altar before its arrival. But he noticed that it would be better for him to stay and refine some medicinal pills for the whales as they would consume a lot of spiritual energy trying to drag the heaven ascending divine altar away. If he wanted to make sure that heaven ascending divine altar arrived at the Devil Cloud's island faster, he would have to make medicinal recovery pills so that the whales could recover their spiritual energy faster. But as Tianyun was busy refining medicinal pills inside heaven ascending divine altar, Lan Qingling rushed towards him with a worried expression. Young master, there is a lot of cultivators outside stopping us from advancing forwards. It looks like they came from some empire. Lan Qingling said nervously. Well, our move seems to attract some attention. Let me deal with them. I want to see which empire they came from. Tianyun said as he stood up and walked outside with an indifferent demeanor. Chapter 779 Tianyun already knew that those trying to stop heaven ascending divine altar from being moved were bound to show up. Sure enough, once he walked out of heaven ascending divine altar, he saw a large group of cultivators that were fighting the mermaids. The cultivators from Water Dragon Empire. Tianyun frowned. He figured it out using the appraisal eye, and he was a little bit disappointed that the whole empire was on board with Water Dragon Emperor's scheme. Quick, we have to take back these mermaids. They would sell for a good price on the slave market, one of the cultivators said greedily. Hey, should we check out that big palace? There might be a better looking mermaid inside, another cultivator said with a smug look on his face. They all behaved like crazed lunatics as they began capturing the mermaids that they have overpowered before. But Tianyun was having none of it as he shot a shockwave that killed the nearest cultivator in an instant. The cultivators of Water Dragon Empire were surprised by this turn of events as they never expected some of them would be killed by a mere shockwave. Who gave you the permission to stop my whales and took my people away? Tianyun said as he walked menacingly towards the cultivators. The 12 golden hairpins were also behind him, but there were 8 of them left as 4 of them have returned to their home. How dare you kill some of us? Don't you know what faction are we from? A cultivator that seemed to be the leader said as he set his own killing intent loose. They have never seen Tianyun before, so it couldn't be helped if they failed to recognize that the young man in front of them is the heavenly cloud's great emperor. At the same time, the necklace on the girl's neck suddenly glowed, meaning that there was an evil spirit race nearby. Thus the girl's killing intent also leaked out as they were prepared to fight to kill the said evil spirit race. Tianyun observed all the cultivators on site and noticed a few evil spirit race amidst the cultivators, and some of them even tried to sneak out. Go on, show me your resolve. Tianyun said and waved his hand forward. The 8 of the 12 golden hairpin immediately rushed forward without any hesitation and immediately attacked the cultivators before they even had the time to protect themselves. The cultivators of the Water Dragon Empire began to fall and died one by one as they couldn't withstand the 12 golden hairpins' attack. As soon as the 12 golden hairpins attacked the evil spirit race's people, they revealed the true appearance of the evil spirit race as the necklace on their neck forced them to do so. As soon as the necklace stopped glowing, the 8 girls immediately returned to Tianyun's side, leaving the rest of Water Dragon Empire's cultivators aside. I didn't expect you to attack us so suddenly. Now, you have forfeited your chance to escape. The Water Dragon Empire's general shouted as he was furious that his men were killed by those girls easily. You don't seem to know who you're dealing with, considering your attitude. I am Heavenly Cloud's Emperor. Now that you know, do you still want to impede my way? Tianyun asked coldly. You are Heavenly Cloud's Emperor. Wow, I must be a divine king then. You have killed our noble guest. So, because of that, you have successfully incurred the wrath of the Water Dragon Empire. Water Dragon Emperor would never let this slide. The general said coldly. Noble guest. Tianyun frowned as it seemed the evil spirit race disguised themselves as the noble guest of the Water Dragon Empire. It seems Water Dragon Empire has gone too far. The entire empire seems to be infested by the evil spirit race now. I am afraid I have to purge them thoroughly. Later, Tianyun said as he stepped forward and discharged a stronger shockwave that instantly killed the cultivators in front of him. The general of Water Dragon Empire was also caught in by this shockwave and died immediately. The attack was so powerful that the Water Dragon Empire's cultivators that stood far away from their general were shocked. They realized that the young man in front of their general earlier was someone powerful. It wasn't even a stretch to say that he was really the Heavenly Cloud's Emperor himself. But they were already too late to make a move. They saw that the shockwave earlier suddenly curved and moving towards them at a terrifying speed. They started to panic, but there was nothing they could do as there is nowhere to escape the impending doom. Let's move. We have to keep going. Tianyun said to Lan Qingling as the entire Water Dragon Empire's cultivator that stopped them earlier has been killed. With Tianyun on site, no cultivators on the mortal world could stop the heaven-ascending divine altar from being relocated to its original position. As they got closer to Devil Cloud's island, many cultivators on the island left their homes to see what caused the earthquake and thundering sound. As they checked under the water, they noticed that it was a group of mermaids, and greed got the better of some of them as they wanted to capture the mermaids. It's the mermaids. I am going to catch some of them to turn my life around, one of the cultivators said greedily. There are sea whales too. If we cut them apart, it would fetch a high price on the market, another said greedily. Isn't that the temple that was dragged by many sea monsters from a year ago? Why are the mermaids dragging it back here again? Another cultivator inquisitively said as he didn't understand what was happening. But then Tianyun flew out of heaven ascending divine altar and don't be so rash. If anyone touches the mermaids, I will send their body down the sea to rot. Tianyun said coldly. What are you saying? You aren't even old enough to make a threat. One cultivator said smugly, but Tianyun just glared at him and discharged a terrifying shockwave that shrouded the entire Devil Cloud Island. It wasn't strong enough to kill the cultivator on the island, but it was powerful enough to keep their heads down and their mouths shut. Power never failed to silence people. Chapter 780 Inches. Damn it. He is actually the Heavenly Cloud's Emperor. I have missed my opportunity to speak with Heavenly Cloud's Emperor himself. Jian Lang cried out as he saw Yi Tianyun flew out of the water. He realized that the man that they saved in the past was the same man he saw right now. He was surprised that the man they saved turned out to be Heavenly Cloud's Emperor, who was the object of worship in mortal world right now. He really is the Heavenly Cloud's great Emperor. Lin Shang said as he was equally shocked to hear about Yi Tianyun's real identity. He didn't know what to say in this situation as they heard that the Emperor was a whimsical person who wouldn't hesitate to kill anyone that he didn't like. But after the first time they met, he knew that wasn't the case at all. Yi Tianyun's good nature left a good impression among people. In this cultivation world, Yi Tianyun was a sensational young man because he has already achieved so much in such a young age. But then again, with that level of achievement, there was bound to be people that didn't like it. The people that hated Yi Tianyun for it would either hide their feelings due to the fear of being overpowered by Heavenly Cloud's empire, or secretly stage Heavenly Cloud's empire's downfall in the dark. Furthermore, Heavenly Cloud's empire has formed an alliance with empire across the mortal world. People just assumed that it was Heavenly Cloud's emperor's attempt to rule the entire mortal world slowly. Now, that very Heavenly Cloud's emperor stood before them with an overwhelming aura. I can't accept that. Even if you are the emperor of Heavenly Cloud's empire, you are still a human too. How come you get to have all the mermaids for yourself? The cultivator said as soon as Yi Tianyun contained his aura. Everyone was surprised that the man was brave enough to complain to Yi Tianyun, but that wasn't the end of it. One by one, the cultivator started complaining to Yi Tianyun. From a normal cultivator's perspective, these people's complaints were reasonable as mermaid trafficking has been going on for hundreds of years and it wasn't something that was conflicting with morale value either. Yi Tianyun surely was strong, but he shouldn't use it to threaten other people. Everyone else looked at Yi Tianyun expectantly as they wanted to see what Yi Tianyun would do next. They saw that Yi Tianyun raised his hands and suddenly several rays of lights emerged from his hands and pierced the chest of those who complained earlier, creating a huge hole on the complainer's chest, killing them instantly. Everyone gasped as right now, they believed that the rumor about how Yi Tianyun would kill people indiscriminately seemed to be true. They were frozen in fear as they were afraid that Yi Tianyun would kill them too. Why would you kill us for making a reasonable complaint? You may be stronger than all of us, but we still have our dignity. We won't just go down without a fight. Everyone, what do you say we teach this cold-hearted man a lesson? We may be able to steal some treasures from him. A person said from the back angrily. These people were incited as they wanted to maintain their dignity. The queen of the mermaids remained silent in the ocean as she didn't know what to do. She didn't want her people to be captured and enslaved by the humans, but she didn't want to see Yi Tianyun's prestige plummet either. No one liked a cold-blooded tyrant and there was no such thing as exception no matter in which realm it was. Many people wouldn't hesitate to overthrow a tyrant as they knew that their lives wouldn't get any better with the tyrant at the top. But then again, the mermaid didn't have the courage to calm Yi Tianyun down and so, they just observed the situation without doing anything about it. They simply waited for Yi Tianyun to resolve the situation. If even Yi Tianyun couldn't defuse the situation, then there was nothing they could do. The mermaid saw that Yi Tianyun killed several cultivators with a ray of light. The cultivators on the land instantly froze in place as soon as it's happened. The mermaids immediately realized that Yi Tianyun planned to force the people to submit to him using his power this time. Yi Tianyun suddenly disappeared and reappeared on Devil Cloud's city with the 8 golden hairpins. The cultivators on the land immediately backed off as they were still afraid that Yi Tianyun would kill them too. But it was no doubt that they were also angry at Yi Tianyun for killing their comrades so easily like that. How can you kill people so easily? Are you a demon? We are only asking the reason why you make such a law, but you just killed them without hesitation. I still think that you are the greatest emperor on mortal world, but your attitude is a problem. A teenager suddenly come forward and spoke his mind in front of Yi Tianyun. Others began to follow suit as they saw the teenager spoke bravely in front of Yi Tianyun, but they didn't say anything as the teenager's word has already covered everything they wanted to say to Yi Tianyun. Are you really covering the real demon that snuck into your society and imposed themselves as one of your own? Yi Tianyun said as he lifted the body that he just killed, and immediately the cultivator realized that the one that Yi Tianyun has killed did seem like a huma, but it had multiple arms. In fact, Yi Tianyun only killed evil